Smell that orchid in the center there. It smells like shit. Everybody's so delighted about all these orchids I have around here. I have some that smell like lemons, some that smell like chocolate candy, and they smell like perfume and everything. Well, it smells like shit.
But isn't that just your conscience?
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I mean, it smells like shit.
Whatever.
I'm not labeling good or bad. I'm just saying it smells like shit. Yeah. It's an evaluation. Yeah.
It's only my second visit here, but I think I kind of understand. So next time I have an asthma attack, is it already too late to go, this isn't reality, because I'm already experiencing the asthma attack? It's already too late?
Sure. I mean, look, first of all, for you to have the asthma attack, you have accepted already at some level the belief that asthma has power, okay?
And that you have one.
Call me. If you do it, I do. Call me.
Yeah. Second of all, healing yourself is the hardest thing in the world. I mean, by the time you have a malady, then it's not a matter of correct belief, it's a matter of healing yourself, okay? And the fact that you think there's something to heal is almost sufficient to prevent you from healing.
Right.
Because the game in healing is to call somebody who knows that there's nothing that needs to be healed, that it's all delusion, that it's all a projection of world mind and such like. And the fact that you need to call a healer already pretty well eliminates you from being able to do that. So you go to somebody else. Call somebody else.
You know, one thing I found is I wanted so hard to not be sick. And I said, I'll just meditate for 2 hours a day, and then I'll be healed because I'm in my kingdom. And what turned out is I get pneumonia, I get sick, I get the flu, and the small eye. And I realized tonight that it's like I have a rash, so I'll just think, and then I will not have it. And I do that, I just think that I won't have the flu. And you always say, how am I going to heal my mind? With my mind. And so I've just come to terms with, if I have asthma, which I don't, but if I have the flu, then that's not me with the flu, that's just my body with the flu. And then I just take some cough syrup, do meditation, and see all these really cool things. Kids.
If you are going in, I mean, Jesus was so right, that, to take no thought for the things of this world, what you're going to eat or drink, or whether you're going to be well or sick, or all that sort of stuff, but to seek the kingdom of God and all these things we added unto you. And Joel, the deep silence of my peace, greatest tape in the world, says, he says in the front of that tape, almost everybody here is here because of some thing in the other world, a problem of health or wealth, he says, that has brought us here. And he says, if you can drop the desire, if you can drop all concern, he's saying, if you can drop the desire, drop all concern about the problem or a solution to the problem, okay? And drop in through meditation to the experience of the deep silence of my peace, okay? Then you can have the solution to your problem tonight, this hour. And what he's saying is, if you're looking at fixing a problem, if you're looking for the solution, you can't have it. You're perpetuating the problem, okay? If, on the other hand, you were able to drop all concern for that to the point that you could get quiet and fall into my peace, awareness of the presence of God, then in that moment that you would be aware of the presence of God, that problem could not exist. And it's not that the awareness of the presence of God will fix that problem, it's that in the awareness of the presence of God, that problem does not exist, okay? It's like we're not talking about fixing, we're talking about dissolving the hypnosis, okay? So that's the solution, and that's the best thing you can work on personally, is not to fix the asthma, but can you drop all concern about it? Can you completely lose all concern about it to the point that you can get quiet in the center? You know, and realize the presence of God. And perhaps, the shortest route to get there would be to do the awareness exercise, which is in the book and which we have Barbara tapes on. But the awareness exercise is a real short way, a very practical method that you can practice on to develop the ability to experience the presence of God, become aware of the presence of God whenever you choose to do so. Okay? And if you can drop all concern about your physical or your health or wealth problem to the point that you can get quiet, then first of all, you're no longer sustaining your problem. And second of all, you can use the awareness exercise to get high, getting high, and in the moment that you're high, the problem may well resolve.
So would one way to use that flashcard be, I'm just trying to take us back to some practical use of that. I mean, it just works for me later. So look at a rash and go, oh, that's just hypnosis?
Yes, that's the point, is to know it's hypnosis.
Not try to do anything to get rid of it or act like just...
That sustains it.
So just to, even like you always have, when something occurs that we know is not truth, just in our mind to say nonsense. So that flashcard could kind of be used the same way. Oh, just hypnosis. And practice it like that.
Flashcards are not methods. They're not affirmations. They're not mental exercises. They're not nothing. All they are is just deprogramming.
Okay.
It's just a matter of dragging that identification. You've been programmed for hundreds of lifetimes to believe in the reality of rashes. And
that they're not bad, they're not good, and they should go away. That's all. That whole thing is part of it.
Sure.
I mean, it's like the concept is the whole package.
The whole package. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what you need to do is correctly label. That's just hypnosis.
Okay.
My comment about if you're having a dream and you're out in the ocean and you got washed over a boat and you're out in the ocean, you're floating in the ocean, and of course you're starving, and there's you see the dorsal fin of a couple of sharks circling around you closer and closer, and my question is, what should you pray for? This you in the ocean, what should you pray for? Should you pray for a raft, or should you pray for shark propellant, or should you pray for a harpoon, or what should you pray for, And the point is that if you get a raft, then you're going to need to pray for oars. Right? And if you get oars, now you're going to need food, you better pray for food. And if you get food, now you better pray for rain, because you're going to need water. And then you better pray that the nearest island isn't 1,000 miles away. And what you should pray for is to wake up.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's another thing that I was doing as an exercise, was that everyone's hypnotized. And one of my mantras is, I am awake, or I'm not a body, I'm God consciousness, or I am. And then when I realized when I was saying, I am awake, that was my hypnotism.
Sure.
So I'm always like trying to be enlightened, and that's just my kid going, fucking this sucks.
And that's preventing it.
Yeah.
Seeking enlightenment is a sure block.
Sure.
Well, I mean,
Right.
you manifest what you believe. Seeking enlightenment is the statement, I don't have it.
Right.
That'll keep it away for sure.
I thought this was a blast. I really enjoyed it. I stuck with everything I see as an image in mind. And I had a bunch of experiences where having that come into my head just utterly struck me stupid. You know, and it just, I had a rash too, and it was really weird looking, and my mom took my hand and said, "You have a rash," and it was like a Zen koan, you know, it just absolutely, you know, it just instantly struck me with all the unsupportable premises about that. You know, from there's a rash to this is your hand, to I am your mom, to you are just body. You know what I mean? And it seemed so utterly, I mean, you know, I mean, I just can't even imagine. And then I think there was a doctor in this hypnosis too somewhere, and you know what I mean? It was so utterly, it was as if she had said the most profound thing, or like the most unlocking thing in the world. And it just completely, it's just like, bong, it just, you know, I just can't imagine what to say about any of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it happened to me in the, I've been saying it to myself before I meditate, and then I don't even know, usually I'll say a little like the third step prayer or read something. But it will seem like sort of God, whatever God is, please, whatever it is I usually say. You know what I mean? It just sort of, like everything was like that. And I was in the 99-cent store in San Diego, and I all of a sudden, it was the same thing. It just sort of like, I was thinking, I'm hungry and I want to eat. And then I thought, okay, everything's an image in mind. And it's the same thing, like where, you know, there's so many unsupportable premises that go into thinking I am in a 99-cent store in San Diego, having hunger, you know, and wanting something. And it just sort of, it's like, it makes no sense to try and untangle it and figure out whether it's really a 98-cent store, you know, like what the nature of it is.
Yeah, the math is not the issue.
But it's really fun, and I kind of, I feel like an idiot. I have this, I bought this DVD there, and that DVD is sitting on a shelf at home, and every time I see it, I start laughing because I don't know what it is. You know, and it just strikes me so funny to see that thing and not have any idea what it is. You know what I mean? Or whether it costs 99 cents, or whether, you know, or whether. And I mean, you know, when I was upset about I was thinking I have too much to do at work. And the same thing, you know, everything's an image in mind. And, you know, just the idea of having, you know, I'm me, I have a job, to be done with the job, you know what I mean? There's just too many, no sense in trying to unwrap the onion, you know? And then if I think about it again, I can't really get interested in the idea of having too much to do. You know, I love this thing. I love this thing.
Cool. Yeah, it's just, yeah, you guys are really in your level. That's where it can go. It is like a coin. But you don't have to swing it like an axe. Just relentlessly. Notice that looking at you differently. Yeah.
A quick question for you. You talk a lot about healing in Joel, and I'm so aware that Joel just knew absolutely without a doubt the truth. And so when he went to heal, he knew absolutely that there is no disease in God.
Sure.
And so he healed from that point. But he'll tell his students, if you're going to heal someone, to treat them at the level of the problem. He'll say, you know, like if somebody says, I have a rash, then he'll tell the student, well, acknowledge the rash and treat it at the level that they're at. Am I misinterpreting that?
Yes.
What is
He give them the double talk, is what he's saying. He's saying, don't tell them there's no such thing as a rash.
Okay.
Tell them, I'll be glad to help you. Give them the double talk. But the first thing he says is immediately eliminate the person and the problem from your mind.
Right. Well, that makes sense.
Impersonalize, yeah. He always says impersonalize and nothing else.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because if you came to them at the level of the problem, you believed in the problem.
Yeah, no, he would never say that.
Right.
He misunderstood that.
But he says also, don't tell them, well, there's no such thing as rash.
Right, yeah. What you want to do is get them out of your face as quickly as possible.
Like a sponsor.
Like a sponsor. Yeah, what you want to do is get them out of your face as quickly as possible, because what they're doing is trying to hypnotize you. So you say, yeah. That's what they're doing. I mean, the deal is the person has come to you and you're being presented with a temptation to believe in a rash. They say, I got a rash. Look at my rash. I'm going to tell you what my rash, you know. And so he just tells them, yes, I'll help you, and I'll be glad to work on that for you. Thank you for coming by. And then he forgets about it.
That's why when we call you, you don't need the details.
Right.
Uh-uh.
Don't want the
You
details.
don't want the details.
Oh, well.
Don't need to hear it.
Oh, well.
Don't need to hear it. And you forget about it immediately. But see, Joel, you have to understand, was in God consciousness, was aware of the presence of God essentially all the time. Okay? Whereas all of us have to get cranked up to it. When, you know, if you call somebody for healing around here, well, then they have to remember and and do the work and such like, you know, and try to get there, which means that we're nowhere near the power of Joel. Joel's power was so high that, you know, a person in somewhere, let's say in Hawaii, would send him a letter asking for a healing, and they would get the healing before he got the letter. Because, and usually they would get the healing when they thought he would get the letter. You know, if they thought it would take 3 days for him to get the letter, they'd usually get the healing on the 3rd day. You know, if they thought it would only take 1 day to get the letter,
So their mindset.
Well,
but the fact is that when they made themselves available to Joe's consciousness, they got the healing.
their consciousness was aligned.
Right.
Just through the mailing of the letter.
That's right. People often got healings without him ever having seen the letter before he saw the letter.
Robert talks about the statue, where the saint is buried under the statue, and thousands of people go to get a healing there. And then one day they had to move the statue, and there's no saint underneath.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. But the fact is they aligned themselves with his consciousness, but they didn't get the healing until they believed that he was doing it. They still believed that he had to do something. See, they were locked into the belief that there was something wrong that he had to fix. Whereas if they had not had that, then they would have had to do it by thinking of it. You know, the letter was certainly wasted time. But for lesser mortals, you better call them and crank them up. Because they ain't sitting there in God consciousness in case you ought to think about them or drop a letter. You know. Where are we going to look at them? Oh, it's actually third.
It's like the woman who called Robert with constipation.
Yes, no, that was a different
She
experience.
had his picture in her bathroom. Just had to look at it and he cured her.
I feel pretty good comments during that talk. Robert's scatological prowess.
So you can align yourself with Joe's consciousness now.
Yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
I feel like
If you can, sure. Joe's just as much here now. Joe is less encumbered now that he doesn't have a body.
I found myself doing that sometimes, but I almost like didn't believe it.
And even while wearing a body, he was able to give people healings 12,000 miles away when they wrote the letter, before he got the letter. So, the fact is that his consciousness was certainly demonstrating omnipresence. And if he could do that in a body, think what he can do without one. He just got rid of an encumbrance. And certainly, Barbara used to get direct messages from Joel during class. Joel would tell her you need to make this clearer, you know, and this is 2 or 3 years after he died. He was correcting her about the class, he could make that clearer, such like, so, you know. He certainly is available, and he told her that he was available. He would from now on, after he died, he told her that he would from now on be available directly to all Infinite Way students, all serious Infinite Way students. That includes us, who are sort of third generation Infinite Way students, but we certainly are in this. There certainly is a lot of Joel underlying his work, and Joel certainly is here, and so is Barbara. They're both present in this community, in this work we're doing. There's no question about that. So, next week, new flashcard. Everything I hear is hypnosis. Same thing, except we use the word hear. And that, of course, includes television and newspaper reading. These counts as hearing.
So you can't even read the flashcard.
But you could read it, just realize that it's hypnosis. Just realize that it's hypnosis. But let's work on this another week. I want to keep going on this. So everything I hear is hypnosis this year, this week. And it certainly includes all the stuff that, you know, instead of focusing on what we see, focus on all the stuff you're told through the newspaper, through television, through the radio, through what people are telling you, you know, people that come up to you, through and just your thoughts. We'll get to thinking better.
I was going to say, that includes the universal parent voice as well.
Isn't that a hearing in a way?
If you're hearing
Like
it,
the external world.
if you're hearing it, if you're hearing universal consciousness talking to you, then certainly know that's hypnosis. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So if we got used to using carnal mind, would that still apply here?
If you want to use that, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Again, use whatever word
Okay.
makes you real. World mind is fine. Universal human consciousness is fine. Universal parents is fine. If you happen to be a Barbara Aficionado, the devil is fine.
She uses that a lot.
Yes, she does. I finally found a really good CD in which in which she made perfectly clear what she meant by that, which was what she had to mean by that, and being a way teacher, because she talks like it's personal.
That's the one that I've been listening to. It's so interesting too. I have a knack of picking up the one where you talk about it the same way that she does, which is cool. But yeah, she really goes in depth on it.
Yeah, makes it real clear what she means.
She's really angry. None of her students understood it.
She used to kick butt.
Yeah.
So let's work on that. And by the way, just for, I'm going to start telling people because you're all here, obviously, but if you're not here, if you go on the website and under workshops, there's a thing called, you know, one of the things under workshops is Reaching for the Moon. And if you click there, you can see what the current flashcard is. I'll update that tomorrow. So if you miss 1 week and you want to just go online and see what the flashcard is, it's there, or you can call people. But
You have to do moon pointer?
look under workshops.
I mean username?
No.
Okay.
No. This is under workshops. It's not a control page or anything. It's the thing in the front that says that we meet every Tuesday night and gives the time and says it's a $10 thing, you know, and stuff like that. I put the flashcard there so that we could see it without having to subscribe to it during event nonsense. And because even if you're not here, it would be good if you found out this week's flashcard, because part of the power of the flashcard is that we're all working on it. So it's in consciousness. And if you see anyone who wasn't here, as quickly as you see someone who wasn't here tonight because they were out there being hypnotized, tell them to change see to hear. Let's get quiet. Okay, thanks for coming. Love you all.